what we saw at the beginning of the week here. Price broke down this channel. Remember, we had a channel between the 0.68500. So we saw the resistance level of that channel here. Then we saw the support level of this channel at the 0.67800 level. Then we witnessed the breakdown of that structure to give us a clue that sellers might likely come in from this point. And since then, we have been in the sell position as price moved over 100 pips in our favor before we started seeing this buy pressure coming right around the 0.66900 level. Now, with the look of things right now, how do we intend to trade this during the New York session today? Well, you can see since the beginning of the week, we have been seeing sellers negate all buy attempts around the 0.67400. You can see here every attempt by the sellers to by the buyers to break out of the 0.67400 has been met with strong resistance from the sellers. The same thing happened here during the New York session yesterday. We saw sudden attempt coming from that same area, and during the early hours of today too as well, we have been seeing selling pressure right around that area. And if we look at the structure here from a technical standpoint, it's looking more like a reversal pattern in the form of a head and shoulder pattern. So you can see we have the inverse head and shoulder. We have the head here, then it come back into the neckline. Then we have the right shoulder here, which is a little bit higher than the previous shoulder. And you can see that's the head and shoulder pattern here. And this will not be mature unless a breakout of the 0.67400 happens, followed by buy pressure right above the 0.67400 to incite another wave of bullish momentum, which might likely be a retracement of that impulsive move that we took advantage of at the beginning of the week. Remember, we had this impulsive move, so it might be a retracement into either the bullish trend line that was broken or the 0.67800, where we shall be seeing selling pressure that might likely incite another wave of bearish momentum to the downside. So that is if price breaks above the 0.67400. So for our trading activities for the New York session today, we shall be using the 0.67400 level as our yardstick. So a breakout of that structure will likely give us a clue that we want to be getting ready to join a counter trend opportunity to the downside, to the upside rather. And if price continues to trade below the structure, then we want to remain comfortable in our sell position. So during the early hours of today, I took advantage of an opportunity right below the 0.67250 level, where I'm hoping that price will continue to trade to the downside. So if you are taking advantage of that, let's see how price action will play out from that point. Now, in addition to the 0.67400, to make our job easier during the New York session today, I will like to connect the series of higher lows here to also guide our trading activity, though we had a breakdown of that structure here. So we have this temporary trend line. We'll call it a temporary one in the meantime. So we have price respect that trend line. Though we had a breakdown of that structure, price climbed up immediately and it has been respecting that trend line. So if you had missed out on this opportunity here, well, you want to be patient to see price break down, retest that structure, then you want to be joining that decline to the downside from that level. So if you had missed out on this, let's see price break down the structure, retest, then you could join the decline to the downside. And if you're already part of the sell position right below the 0.67400, then a breakdown of this trend line, retest followed by selling pressure on our lower time frame should be giving us an opportunity to add more position to this trade. And if price continues to the downside in such a way that it breaks down to 0.66900, a retest of structure should further give us another opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. So our take profit target still remains between the 0.65600 level and the 0.6400 area. So let's see how price action will play out during the later part of the week, as all eyes is focused on the Michigan consumer sentiment coming up tomorrow. So these are my views here on the AUDUSD. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in your inquiries in the comment section. And one thing I also want us to look at is the daily time frame. First, let's look at the daily time frame and let's see what is really going on there, and see if the setup we were able to identify on the 1 hour time frame lines up with what we are seeing on the daily time frame. So now when we look at the daily time frame here, it's obvious that price action has been on a long-term bearish momentum since the beginning of the year, and we had this bearish trend line figured out here. Besides the structure, besides the bearish trend line, is the 0.6700 level, which has been a major determinant of price action since the month of July. So we can see how that level has been a buy niche for participants in this market at one point in time, that is in the month of July. And then the same thing happened here in the month of September before the breakdown of that structure happened during the later part of the month of September. And since then, price has been trading below that structure to emphasize the strength of the sellers at this point in the market. Now, price has come back into the 0.6700 level. In fact, we have a huge consolidation phase as soon as price got into that structure, further emphasizing the indecision in this market, as we need a signal to guide our trading activity going forward. Now, if we look at the structure here, price is around the 0.6700 level, and anywhere below the 0.6700 level could incite a bearish momentum, considering the fact that this level has been a selling niche at one point in time. We saw what happened here also in the month of November. So if a breakout of the breakdown of that structure happens, we might be looking forward to selling opportunity. And in addition to that structure here, if we connect the series of higher lows here, we can see we have this trend line. So to further emphasize the importance of sellers at this point, is a breakdown retest of the structure might likely send price crashing to the downside from that area. However, if buy pressure continues right above the 0.670 level, well, we might be looking to buy price. And if price breaks out of the 0.67800, a retest of structure should further give us a confirmation to add more position to our buy position here on the AUDUSD. So that is my view here on the AUDUSD. So if we go back to the 1 hour time frame and look at the 0.6700 level, we shall be looking forward to selling right below that structure. So here we are on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this is the 1 hour time frame here. So we have the 0.6700 level. So this is the 0.6. I want us to identify that 0.670 level, which we identified on the daily time frame. So we have the 0.6700. Okay, I think it's around this level. Hold on a second. Okay, 0.67100. That is okay, 0.67100. All right, so we have it around here. So breaking below that structure should further give us, and you can see here it also lines up with that bullish trend line. So like I said, if you had missed selling right below the 0.67400, let's wait and see if price will break down this structure with selling pressure right below that level for us to join that decline to the downside. And please keep open the options of a breakout retest of 0.67400 to take advantage of a bullish momentum when that happens. So that is that on the AUDUSD. I hope I made myself clear. If you have questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section.